Allosexuality. That is the focus of this when I'm not podcasting. So if you are a person who experiences sexual attraction to other people, congrats, there is a word for that. You're allosexual. Let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. I haven't heard about this phrase, but again, we are hearing about new phrases that are being used to identify certain things, and this is the newest one I haven't heard about. So here it is. Allosexuality, A-L-O sexuality, means attraction to other people. This is according to Zana Vrangalova, PhD, a New York City-based sex researcher, and a sex expert for adult toy company Lelo. Allo, A-L-L-O, is a Greek prefix meaning other or different. And this PhD explains that, so basically anyone, quote, who feels sexual attraction to other people to some degree can be considered allosexual. That means that allosexuality is a broad umbrella term encompassing many different sexualities and identities, including heterosexuality, homosexuality, bisexuality, pansexuality, etc., distinguishing those identities from asexual ones. Now, why do we need a term to describe something like that? Unlike many recent entries in the ever-growing sexual lexicon, it's always been acknowledged and accepted that part of the human experience. As it happens, that largely unchallenged awareness and acceptance of sexual attraction is exactly why we need a distinct term for it. This is from Kayla Kibb. I always refer to some of her articles at InsideHook.com. The term allosexuality exists less to define or validate allosexual identities than those that fall outside of that umbrella, asexual ones. And Vrangalova also says, quote, was quoting 10 to 20 years ago as the asexuality movement became more visible with the goal of educating and destigmatizing asexuality. She also says it's really important that we have a word for asexuality when something, in this case, sexual attraction to others, comes so naturally to you and most other people in the world. It's very hard to take a mental step away from it and imagine someone not experiencing that same thing. So having a word for this majority experience helps put that experience in a broader perspective, raises awareness about the spectrum of sexual orientation, and allows people to better understand the minority experiences. All right. Good. I totally endorse this phrase because I think more people need to get laid. I think more people need to be sexual. I think sexuality should not be so hindered as it has been. You know, I mean, listen, sexuality in some way or form, whether you're very conservative, you're very sexual with your partner and you're having children and you are fostering and nurturing children and doing whatnot. And you can basically be like bunnies as long as you're with the same person. But with others, they can also just be sexually attracted to everybody. Now, also, it could be down to the fact that if somebody wants to enact or, you know, pursue that sexual attraction and take the sexual attraction and make it something sexual, a sexual act or a sexual time or a sexual experience with somebody. Regardless of who's out there, everybody should be having sex. Just saying. It shouldn't be that much of a difference. So I'm supporting this because of the fact that regardless of identity, sexuality should be something that would take away division, that would take away some of the anger and bitterness and vitriol that we have in this culture. I mean, good Lord, some of the people that are out there, you know, in rallies or they're going out and they're marching the streets, please get laid, okay? And I say it in the nicest terms, okay? Because you know what? Of all the people that are always fighting or being activists or really trying to go for a cause, you know, there are some beautiful people out there. And there's some wonderful, smart, attractive people out there, or attractive based on what you think that you should be able to go ahead and be able to express sexual attraction. And you know what? It's a way to, you know, take any pent up frustration and to work it out. Again, I'd rather have sex over violence. Maybe people don't think that it works like that, but the sexual revolution did a lot for this society. And for the idea of trying to go and get people to go ahead and curb back sexuality, that's another story. But again, that's where people need to understand. There's a lot of women that feel like, you know, there's more single guys and more single women than there ever were because of all the issues that are going on with relationships or just dating in general. And you know why? It's because also sex is being used as a caveat. It's being used as a tease. It's being used as currency in order to go ahead and either tease or make somebody want you more. And some people don't have the attention span to do it anymore. And, a nice guy wants to go and feel like they want to go ahead and get closer to somebody, have that sexual attraction. But again, they don't enact on it. Again, people need to be much more upfront about their inhibitions, much more upfront about their wants and their anticipations, right? Just more blunt. And honestly, there's something to be said about, okay, we don't need to be having things where sexuality is kind of hidden online. There's a reason why porn is so popular. Now, I don't knock it. I got the chance to go ahead and enact with people that were in the porn industry, and I think they're wonderful people. And you know what they are? They're very open about their sexuality. And they are open, and they express it, and they embrace it. And they are doing things in an artistic fashion in some cases to be sexual and to offer a sexuality, because they're basically filling a void of people not being sexual on their own. And so if you're not getting sex at home, if you're not getting sex from other partners, or you're getting pushed or you're getting dragged around, things like that, it's sexuality. It's a matter of, if people need to feel like they can be allosexual. And again, it doesn't have to be just homosexual. It could just be any kind of sexual. If you are attracted to somebody, that person is sexually attracted back to you, then have at it. Like, let's not beat around the bush anymore. And again, also, of course, with responsibility, making sure that you're being tested for STIs, making sure that you are, if you're taking the pill or birth control, that you want to avoid anything happening from, the pleasure of sex not being something more that would be much more of a risk if you take it. In short, according to Insight Hook here, more into the story, allosexuality is just a term that exists to help reframe our often unconscious beliefs about what constitutes normal human experience. Thinking about allosexuality as allosexuality, rather than a presumed norm or default human setting, opens up space to acknowledge, explore, and accept the wide range of identities and experiences that fall outside of it. Quote, the reality is that everything in human psychology exists on a spectrum. Understanding that different people fall along different points of this spectra is critical for understanding, accepting, and learning how to live with others in this globalized, diverse world. So I'm all for this. That should be something more we talk about. Allosexuality. I'm for it. I want to know what you think about it. Feel free to go and email me, hit me up on social media, and you'll be able to go and find out how to do that. Go to my website, kingofpodcasts.com, or also go ahead and email kingofpodcasts@yahoo.com. Or please, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment underneath. Make sure to subscribe and share this with everybody out there. And I hope you like it. And I'll talk to you next time.